Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And please show some respect to the speakers, make some noise, and please welcome John McAfee on the stage.
How many of you are panicking right now? Don't. We all have lost, at least in our minds, a great deal of our capital in the past 24 hours. But this is nonsense. And I'm just briefly, this is not my talk. I'm just going to briefly explain, as I see it, what happened. JP Morgan, which is America's largest bank, in September said that Bitcoin was a fraud. I don't know if you guys remember that. Bitcoin was at about $5,000. It dropped to $3,000 in a matter of hours. Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO of JP Morgan, went on CNBC and said Bitcoin's a fraud, and here's why. I went on the following day and I said, no, the US dollar is a fraud, and here's why. Because it is. Okay? I'm a very large Bitcoin miner. We're running about 6,000 S9s. So I know what it costs to produce a Bitcoin. And not that the value of Bitcoin has any relationship with cost, but at least it's some measure. You know, it cost me over $2,000 to create a Bitcoin today. What does it cost to create a $100 bill? I calculated 6 cents. So which one is the fraud? So don't pay any attention to this. It's going to come back. So yesterday, another JP Morgan employee, a very well-known investment counselor, said that governments are going to ban all cryptocurrencies. Well, that's a great thing to say, but how? Tell me how. How can you regulate something? How can you create a law that cannot be enforced? I mean, for example, smoking marijuana is illegal in almost every state in America, yet you see people doing it constantly. Why? It cannot be enforced. Neither can you enforce the non-use of cryptocurrencies. It is distributed. And more important, it is permissionless. I don't need anybody's permission to send somebody an Ethereum or a Bitcoin or a Monero, and neither do you. And you need nobody's permission to receive it. So how is it going to be done? I have no clue. In China, where they have banned all of the exchanges, do you think the Chinese people still don't use Bitcoin and Ethereum? Of course they do. You cannot stop it. Make all the laws that you want. So all this is saying is that the people at JP Morgan have no clue about what the blockchain is and what cryptocurrencies are. And they can make all the noise that they want. They're America's largest bank, and therefore they have the greatest fear. Because who is going to disappear first when cryptocurrencies reach the mainstream? The banks. So anyway, I'll shut up about that. I'll stand up here. I like it. I see the beach better. So I came here ostensibly to talk about the newer cryptocurrencies. I read 50 or 60 white papers every single week. It's a nightmare. And some of them are 50 pages long. 90% of them are scams. Of that remaining 10%, half are total nonsense. But there are some gems within them. Now people go, well, we have enough cryptocurrencies. You've got Ethereum. You have Bitcoin. Bitcoin is maybe a store of value. Ethereum is used by almost everybody to transfer or to buy, sell, and exchange. Monero, why use Monero? Because everybody on the dark web uses Monero to sell everything from illegal drugs to monkeys from India that are illegal to be traded. So they should be enough, you say. Utter total nonsense. Why will cryptocurrencies expand almost infinitely? For the simple reason that each has its own worth and its own purpose. I'll give you some examples. One of the, anybody who's ever on my Twitter account, I get trashed all the time for, quote, promoting things. However, in reading all of these white papers, there are gems that come out that no one will ever see. And as time moves on and we have more and more cryptocurrencies and more ICOs, fewer and fewer people will ever know what these gems are. If you look at what I quote promoted or recommended or say, look at this, they're all beautiful things. I mean, things like outings. Okay, what is outings? It's an application that if you want to take your family out for a Sunday afternoon, or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, you have the app. And you say, well, I'm interested in street artists, mimes, street musicians, painters, whatever. Or I want to go to a bar where I can see a celebrity. All right, so anybody else who has this app, let's say you're in a high-end bar in LA and Tom Cruise is there. You can go, hey, Tom Cruise is here. All right, everybody who says, I want to come, where is this? You're going to spend 50 cents or $1 in these outings tokens, of which you get a large percentage. Now, does Ethereum do this? No. Bitcoin? No. Monero? Absolutely not. And there are thousands of these coming out every few months. Now, another one, and please forgive me for this, and my own morality probably is not yours. I was contacted by an outfit called Pink Date, a collection of prostitutes in America who own their own token. Now, the reason for this is obvious, okay? If you happen to use these tokens, your wife is not going to see it on your bill each month on your credit card or anything else. I'm doing this for free. Why? Because if we're going to bring the entire world into the cryptocurrency field, can't leave anybody out, I'm sorry. And so every single activity, every purpose, every interest in life is going to have its own coin. It is. This is just the facts of life. So how do you manage this? You go, well, geez, this is impossible. I'm going to have 5,000 wallets. No. We're going to see something equivalent to the development of the operating system for personal computers in the 1980s. For example, a printer driver. Okay? How many of you are software engineers and know anything about software? Good, I'll talk to you folks for one thing. Okay, so a printer driver is a piece of software that controls a specific type of printer. Now, when you print something, you don't need to know what that driver does, where it resides, how big it is, how often it's updated. You have a thing called the operating system, which manages this for you. The same thing for your disk drive, for your modem, for everything that you do, your location. The same thing is going to happen in the crypto world. You call it what you want, meta wallets, or a meta crypto system that will take whatever you want to input, Ethereum, US dollars, and it will manage, as you go through life, every one of your activities that the cryptocurrency facilitates. Now that sounds like madness, but I promise you, I've been in this business, well, I've been in the software business all my life. And I know how things move, and I know how things grow, and I know how they coalesce. And I'm watching exactly the same thing in the cryptocurrency world that I saw starting in the 1960s with large supercomputers and moving into personal computers in the early 80s. This is going to come. It will. It will have to, else we won't have a cryptocurrency world. It will be unmanageable. And those of you who say we do not need these new currencies, you simply have not thought it through. You've maybe never met a prostitute, or you've never gone on an outing and wished you knew where the street musicians were. So it will happen, and it is happening now. And this distribution, this peer-to-peer concept that gives us so much power without needing anyone's permission will continue to grow and coalesce. So as you look into the future, you watch for these platforms that start managing large numbers of other coins in a meaningful way. Not just an exchange, but something that understands the purpose of that coin. Like the operating system understands the purpose of a printer driver, or a modem interface, or the interface to the location device on your smartphone. So this is coming, all of it. Again, those of you who know anything about my Twitter page, about 99 out of every 100 comments, and there are thousands per day, are negative. If it were not, I would not be doing my job, would I? If they're all positive, I would simply be with the status quo. And the complaints are, you're promoting coins, you're promoting ICOs. Well, you call it what you want. I read hundreds of these white papers every day. if I see something, like outings, I go, God damn, I want that. You should want that. We all are going to have a lot of fun if this comes to fruition. What am I supposed to do? Buried under my mattress? No. I'm sure as fuck going to say something to you about this. And I do. And then people go, oh, you're promoting. If there's a coin that I think has value and should stick around, half of the coins ever produced are dead coins. They're not used by anybody. Well, I don't want these good ones to fall into that status just because there is such a sea of possibilities that they get lost underneath the trash. So of course I'm going to say something. I want to piss everybody else off. Okay, if I don't promote Verge, the entire Verge community is going to come down on my head. That's fine with me. I spent 2 months evading an entire army in Central America. That was good. Can I do it? An entire army. So do you think angry words are going to bother me? No, they do not. So yes, I will continue to do this in spite of people going, you're manipulating markets or whatever you're doing. So be aware that the current state of cryptocurrency with the large Bitcoins and Ethereums and Moneros and everything else is going to change radically. Not that these currencies will disappear, they have their purpose. It seems to me like Bitcoin really is becoming a store of value. That's fine. Ethereum really is becoming a means of payment. And Monero really is becoming a way to hide what you do from the world. And this is an important point. You think that's bad. You know, the government say if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing.